With the Premier League season literally starting tomorrow, I'm just going to go through all 20 Premier League teams' home kits and just kind of like rank them from 20th to 1st. And bearing in mind, my opinion of this could change tomorrow, but where they're placed in this list is really a basic premise of where I would rank them overall. So jumping straight into it, in 20th place I have Wolverhampton Wanderers, and for this I don't really think the style kind of fits how the kit is laid out, because with the badge being put right in the middle, for me, I think you need a bit of a pattern behind the badge, so it's kind of like not focused on that, due to the fact that 99% of football kits have the badge on one of the sides, and this really does kind of look out of place. So if you're just focused on that, then it's going to draw attention to it. So that is really the main reason I don't like it, and it just looks really plain alongside that. So then in 19th place I have Chelsea, and overall for me this kit just looks like an absolute mess. For me it looks like a child was just given some paint to basically design this. I really don't like it. I kind of just think that they didn't know exactly where they were going with this, so they just did something really random. And in 18th place I have Tottenham Hotspur, and for me I don't really mind kind of what they did with this. It's just, it looks really plain, and I think they use some really quite plain colours for this as well. Just a plain white shirt for me is really difficult to make look really good and kind of really appealing, which is unlucky for Tottenham because their main kit colour is white. And also with the sponsor doesn't have much of a design to it either. It just has like the letters for it, which is really difficult to make look good if you have a plain white kit and nothing else really going on with it. So then in 17th place I then have Crystal Palace, and for this one I can see what they were trying to do with the colours, because I do think the blue and red do go together, but I think they went a bit over the top with the design, because they were trying to like kind of mesh the colours together, and for this I just don't really think that goes too well with this actual design. Apart from that, I just don't really like the mesh of the two colours. And now in 16th place I have Manchester City, and for this I do think overall this kit does look really plain. And then after that it's just kind of like the collar for me just kind of ruins it, purely because it doesn't really match the rest of the shirt, and there's a bit of a pattern on the collar, and there's going to be a bit of a pattern of that in this video, because I don't really like it when collars have a pattern on it, and especially when the rest of the shirt is plain. I just don't really think that goes well, and for me that's kind of what ruins this shirt. So next in 15th place I have West Ham United. I don't think the base of this is really that bad. It's just, once again, the pattern on the collar doesn't really do it for me, and the two colours on the actual shirt don't really go too brilliantly together either. But the big problem I have with this is on the badge, like the background colour on the badge really does clash with the actual colour of the lettering on the logo. For me overall this really doesn't mesh well, because you can sort of see the lettering but you can't see it clearly, so it does really look kind of badly done. So that, and really the pattern on the collar and the two colours, I don't think go too brilliantly. So yeah, West Ham United in 15th, and then in 14th place I have Brentford. For me, it's just that this is a bit of a default kit, to be honest, and also the black spots under the arms really just kind of look like they were randomly put in, and it doesn't really look like there was much of a design to that bit, alongside kind of like the white and red default sort of pattern. The colours do go well together, it's just I think they could have been, or at least tried to be, a bit more creative with the actual kit. So then in 13th place I have Manchester United, and for me this is a bit of a plain kit. I do like the stripes on the shoulder. I think that is a good kind of aspect to the actual shirt. If it wasn't for that it would have been a lot lower, because then it would have just been a plain red kit with a sponsor on it. I do overall think it is a decent kit, but there's nothing really specifically that stands out about it, except from really the kind of stripes on the shoulder, which really doesn't, it does stand out because that's the only other thing going on for the kit, but it's not really one of those things that make you look at it and think, wow, that really does change how I see this. And then in 12th I have Southampton, and it's kind of another default style kit, a bit like Brentford's, but the main reason I prefer this one to the Brentford one is that it's just, I think it's designed better. They haven't put like the black kind of spots under the arms, which really for me doesn't go well because it kind of just looked random. And then the one thing I really like about this kit is the collar is just one colour, and I like it when the collars are just kind of one solid colour. For me, patterns just on a really tiny collar just make it look like they're going like to try too hard to make the kit stand out. So yeah, I do think the Southampton is a good one. It's a bit of a default one, like I said, which does kind of drag it down a bit, but they really didn't just go over the top with it or try and put some random stuff in there to make it stand out. So then in 11th place, I have Fulham, and this is kind of like your classic black and white colours on the kit. It's really a classic Fulham kit as well. The black stripes on the shoulders do go really well for me. The one thing I don't like about this is the red letters and the red stripes, like the little red stripes at the bottom of the kit, don't really go well for me. I think if you're going to do a black and white kit, you kind of need to keep it black and white. Then just put in a random few like red letters in for the sponsor and then a couple of red stripes, I do think kind of throws me off this kit a bit. But I do like the classic elements of this, like the black and white and then the black stripes like on the shoulders as well. I do think go really, really well together and kind of put this kit a bit higher in the rankings. So then in 10th place, I have Brighton and Hove Albion. I do think the design for this is done really, really well. They have made two light colours work well, and for me, I don't like two light colours usually, but they have designed this well. They've gone with a really, really simple design, which I do like. I like it when teams go for simple designs and they don't just go over the top, because putting two colours together and making a simple design is just really simple to do. And the one aspect I don't like about this kit is just having the sponsor in the middle, because I kind of think it just cuts off the actual design. It kind of just looks like it was placed there and it doesn't really look part of the actual design of the kit too well. So then in 9th place, I have Liverpool. I think this is a bit more of a packed design. There is a lot going on with this, but I do like the red and gold combo with kind of like the little gold stripes going across the actual shirt. I do think that goes very well together. The one thing that I do think they've done well with this is they've put a lot of simple elements in this kit, but these simple elements do go quite well together. It's quite well designed and everything seems quite well placed. The one thing I don't really like about it is the collar. Once again, I like a solid colour on the collar, just that simple. So in 8th place, I have Leicester City, and this kit has done a really good white and blue combo. I think this is a great combo. I really like it. And they've gone for a simple design, even if it is quite plain. I think if you go for a simple design and you do a good pattern, you have two good colours that go well together, it just goes really well, and I'm going to rank it highly because I do like the simple patterns that go well together. It's just that simple. There isn't really much for me to say about this one. It's just that I think everything done with this goes quite well. And then in 7th place, I have Bournemouth. I think this is a good colour combo. The red and black kind of stripes go really well together. I like the consistent stripe design across the shirt as well. Some kits you won't see a consistent kind of design. It won't be like all over the place, but it'll kind of look like a bit all over the place. But this is really well consistent throughout the entire kit. And the sponsor being white lettering, I think is good for this, due to the fact that they've put white lettering on like the really dark kind of areas of the kit, and this really does kind of stand out well, and it makes the kit stand out a bit more as well. And yeah, I like the gold stripes. That's a nice touch as well. So then in 6th place, I have Arsenal. I like this design. It's kind of got a classic modern feel to it, and I kind of like it also when teams cross over from a classic modern type of feel. There isn't really much of a pattern going for this Arsenal kit, but it does work like really well for it. It's not one of those things where it just kind of looks random. So yeah, I do think the design with the classic modern feel, not much of a pattern, but like I said, that works well for it. And then in 5th place, I have Nottingham Forest. Again, a simple design, but very, very effective. Just kind of like a plain red shirt with the sponsors and a logo. And I also like how there's a pattern kind of blended in to the back of the shirt, but it's also red. So they've just used one colour, but they've also managed to put a pattern on the kit as well. I really, really love it when teams do that. and they put that pattern in the background and it's the same colour as like the base colour. So then in fourth place I have Everton, which is quite similar to Nottingham Forest. It is quite a plain look with a pattern in the background, but I like this pattern better, and I do really think that the design of the kit is done better than Forest's overall. However, I'm not too fond of the collar, but because of how well this kit's been designed for me, you don't really notice the collar that much. So that is why I have put this one quite a bit higher than I probably would have if you noticed the collar a lot more. So then in third place, I have Newcastle United. You have your classic black and white stripe kit, which I love. It's done really well, and the colours really stand out to you as well, probably because it's also that classic Newcastle kit. And also the one thing I adore about this kit is the sponsor using the kit colours, so they're keeping the consistent black and white theme of this. They're not just sticking a random red colour on sponsor. So yeah, for Newcastle, just overall really well done, great design, and the consistent use of the colours as well. So then second place, I have Aston Villa. Here you have a very clean look to the kit. The design is done really well, especially with the colours, and I think sometimes with a kit like Villa's, like you saw with West Ham, it can be difficult to kind of get those types of colours to look good. But with that really clean look and a really good design and a really good pattern, I think Aston Villa have done really well here. And also the big thing is the lettering does not clash with the colours, so you're not kind of focused on that one little sort of error, because like the whole kit looks nice and the lettering is clear and it stands out. So obviously this means that my number one option is Ipswich Town, and for this I adore the blue with the little white stripes. I think kind of the dark blue with the white stripes goes really well. There's a different shade of blue for the collar as well, which makes this unique. So it's like a solid blue on the collar, but it's a different shade to the actual kit blue, and it's just another clean feel as well. With the also with the white lettering, I think this goes really well because it's a darker blue. But the one thing I don't like about this is I don't like the white strip around the logo, but it doesn't really affect the kit very much, because once again, because the rest of the kit is designed so well, you're not really focusing on the one little thing that personally I don't like about the kit. So yeah, for me, Ipswich Town is my favourite kit this season, or favourite home shirt this season. So yeah, that's me ranking all the 20 Premier League home shirts for this season. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you agree with a lot of my picks? Do you disagree? And if you want to, leave your full list down in the comments as well. So yeah, thank you for listening to the video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.